Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the podcast, the REI Network podcast. I am going to introduce a guest right now, a mentor of mine. This guy is awesome. You're going to love him if you don't already know him. Just before we do, if you haven't already, okay, I'm going to give you some free downloads. If you go to reinetwork.com/downloads, reinetwork.com/downloads. Just got a couple of things there, my contract, my lead sheet, and a few extra bits, cold calling script for like VAs, things like that. All right. And so make sure you get that. Right. I am going to bring him over. I know a lot of you already know him, but a lot don't. And you're going to want to get to know him. So here he is coming in hot.
Hey.
Claude Diamond, how are you?
I'm wonderful, man. Thanks for inviting me.
No, thank you. It has been a long time. A mentor of mine. We've worked together. Definitely believe in kind of what you teach, and we're going to dive into that. Just the art of sales. I don't think I don't think there's anyone better in terms of just being real, right, and not being salesy. And I was actually scared. I hesitated at that intro there to use the word script, and very quickly said it's for the VA. All right, because I thought he's going to come through the screen using that word. So it's not a script. I don't believe in scripts either. It was just for the VA guys. Okay, just before Uncle Claude tells me off. Okay.
Yes. Well, we always we need. Hello, Gavin. How are you today? Thank you for inviting me on the show. Do we really need scripts?
No, absolutely.
I mean, you and I, we've been preparing this interview for days now. We must have 30, 40 hours preparation time and special effects for this interview, right?
Absolutely. It took us hours and hours on end.
Let me check my next question. Excuse me. We don't need that. We have lost the ability, maybe too much technology. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know how two teenagers make out in a car nowadays?
Yeah, you're right. Okay. On the phone.
Okay. On the phone.
You're not wrong.
The drive-in worked for me, but it's a movie theater. It's way before your time. Okay.
Yeah.
Talking to people, communicating, getting them to like you. Guess what happens when people like you? They do business with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't agree. Right. So are you saying with that comment, right, and this has probably happened to you, it has to me, that if people like you, they want to do business with who they like? And how often have you negotiating deals, right, in your time where people will take a lower price from you than a higher price with someone else? How often?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't even argue with people. Sometimes I'll just say, what do you want? Why are you even selling the home, sir? You know, why don't you just leave it on the market? Give it to a realtor or something. You're not in any rush, Mr. Timms, are you?
Yeah.
Why are you even, Mr. Timms? This is your own home, sir? How long you been in this lovely home with your kids and your wife and the 3 chihuahuas? How long you been in this house?
We've been in it about 5 years.
Stay another 5 isn't long enough. Oh my God. Well, stay another 5, 10, 15 years. You know, mark on the walls as the kids grow taller. You really don't want to sell it, right?
No, we do. We've got to get a bigger house with too many kids and the dogs. We need something bigger. We definitely got to sell.
But no rush, right? I mean, no rush. 6 months from now, a year from now, there's no sense of urgency, right?
No, I mean, I'd prefer to do it like within the next 30 days if possible.
Well, I'd like to be 6'2", but God may be 5'8". Sometimes you just got to deal with the stuff you have, right? See, what am I doing here?
Yeah, you're basically allowing me to sell to you, right?
Oh, say that again. That was brilliant.
So you're allowing me to sell to you.
What is the average salesperson? Hi, let me tell you about lease purchasing. Let me tell you how wonderful I am. I walk on water. Your house needs repairs. You're going to have to lower the price, and I need special terms and everything. Do you think they've heard that all before?
Yes, 100%.
I make an assumption in this business. I make an assumption I'm not the first person they spoke to. We're in a very true or false?
Oh, 100%. You're definitely not the first.
We're in a competitive business.
Yeah.
So, and I always go back to I'm a KISS method guy. I love to keep things simple. I absolutely love to talk to people. Okay, but let's reverse engineer it. If I was the prospect, would I want the 10 people a day calling me, hi, it dices, it slices. I have just 20, 30, 40 questions to ask you, and everything. Instead, why don't we get a dialogue, a conversation with this person? Yeah. And as you just said, why don't we turn, this is a takeaway for you folks listening. Can you imagine for a moment if we could turn the prospect into the salesperson, where they start explaining I have to sell it. We need more room. My wife is pregnant. My brother-in-law and his 5 kids are moving in, God forbid. I lost my job. My wife got relocated. When you get that good, hard information up front, does that allow you in maybe 2-3 minutes to make a determination whether you have a viable prospect?
Absolutely.
And then you know how to sell them. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I might have a solution for you, sir. No guarantee. Maybe I have a couple ideas here. I can give you a full price, I can give you a price, give you terms, a couple things. And can we talk about that for a minute? And I'll make you an offer. And if we can do business, wonderful. That's how I make a living and put mac and cheese on the table. And if not, do me a favor, tell me to get lost. I don't want to bother you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a couple of things there with you. You said I might be able to help you, right? So it's very a soft approach. You're not saying you have the answer. I might be able to do this. I might be able to do that. And it's just keeping that then real, and also saying that negative phrasing, right? At the end, saying, if I don't want to bother, if this isn't work, just let me know. We can get off the phone, because it just kind of calms everyone down, right? If you can calm the seller down, you can now have an educated conversation, which I think is huge.
You have to initiate. I want them to like me. I'm a big fan of Robert Cialdini, The Psychology of Persuasion in Sales. And he basically says some principles. And the number one principle we have a lot of competition in this business, as I said. Yeah. And that competition spends a lot of money on marketing, on VAs, on mailers, on texting and everything else. But one what my goal is when I get on the phone with somebody, if I can get them to like me and God forbid, trust me, okay, I have just devastated all this competitiveness in the marketplace. Okay, what do we want people to say about us when we get off the phone? Hey, I met a straight guy in an unstraight world. I like this guy, or I think this guy can follow through. Let me talk to my spouse or whatever. That's what I'm looking for a commitment in the first phone call. Yeah. And while I am a nice guy and I love to have fun and laugh and have a good time, I can be assertive. You're not allowed to think about it, Mr. Prospect.
Yeah, I know you can.
Yeah, you're not allowed to think about it. Well, what do you mean? How dare you? No, sir. I think you're more worried about my feelings. People, when they say to me, they want to think about it. What they really mean is goodbye. It's over. Let's just say it's over. But your problem still exists. You want to buy a home, sell a home, invest in a home. Let's go. And then you can go back into the sale again. There's different psychological moves that I do throughout the conversation, and they don't see what I'm doing. That was the whole point of having a system, a gut sales system, to sell differently from all my other competition.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that in a minute. I got a question. You just held it up. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see this. If you listen on the podcast, you won't. But you've got a little egg timer, right? That you use. So
I got this idea on my honeymoon. No. My wife, if she hears that, I get in a lot of trouble when she hears.
She'll start throwing things at you. I think she just left, right? That's why you said it.
3 minutes, man. These are these little speeds of sand. That's your life, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to waste it, or do you want to go to the bank? Do you want to have fun? Do you want to enjoy this journey we call life?
Yeah. So the point is, though, of that is that you're saying within 3 minutes, you need to know if this is going anywhere, right? Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah. Don't when we meet somebody, did you ever meet somebody or you met them and you just liked each other right away? There was a commonality. There was just something about that person. There was a connection, a connective tissue there or something like that. Yeah. I want to work smart. I don't want to wait. See, in the old days, I was the former world's worst sales guy, and I'd get in my car, I'd drive around, I'd give presentations all day long, and I'd come home, I'd be tired, emotionally drained, and the greatest sin of all, I didn't make any money.
Yeah.
Why are we in business, man?
Make money
today. Yeah. Get commitments today. Get contracts today. Get an appointment today. Do a podcast today. Get something today that proves why you're in business. We're doing too much running around, too much busy work, and we're forgetting the one reason we're in business. And even a little money every day at the end of the month, it's a lot. It's cumulative. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think we do too much of that stuff, and we forget why we're in business.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with making money, because people shy away and go, well, I'm here to help the person. Well, yeah, you are. You are there to help the person, to solve a problem, but you're doing it to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you're not going to do it for free. So just say you want to make money. Of course, you want to help and solve the problem, which is fine.
Yeah. I had a lady, I had a speaking engagement, a very large real estate club here in California, lady in the front row. People in the front row for my fellow speakers are always the most dangerous people. Okay. They're there to do something to you. So the lady goes, Mr. Diamond, she raises her hand, Mr. Diamond, all you ever talk about is making money. I'm a realtor. An investor. I came here to help people. Just like that, she said it. So I'm a little bit of a ham bone. I took a very long dramatic pause. The audience is hush. It's one of those, 600 people in the audience. Can't hear a pin drop. And I wait about 5-6 seconds, and I say, ma'am, that is the sickest thing I've ever heard. You can't help anybody if you can't take care of. I believe charity begins at the home. I wanted to take care of my responsibilities, my bills. I want to live. Listen, I don't need a jet or a Bentley or these guys you see on other things. I just wanted to live life where I didn't have to go to bed and worry about money. Okay. And the wonderful thing about making a lot of money, because my wife and we don't have any employees. I call kitchen table millionaires, or what I always wanted to be. Working from home, being able to just pay my bill, go to bed and not think about money, to me is one of my definitions of success. And then now you have money to write to your favorite charities or religious organizations. You can volunteer because you have that wonderful flexibility of time. You don't have to hustle all the time. So yes, it's a good point. You got to make some money, and don't be ashamed of it. But once you have money and you're set for life, you can volunteer, you can write checks, you can be a philanthropist.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember Dolph DeRoos said a couple of weeks ago, when I seen him, that he loves going to bed because when he wakes up basically richer. Right, which is. I mean, it happened to you this morning. Yeah, exactly. We were about to go, right, I'm going to hit record. And then you went, oh, I just made $1,000.
Yeah. It just came through automatically. I never take, I think God made me broke for a reason at one point in my life. That feeling at 2 a.m, how am I going to pay the rent? I've been there. And I think I'm almost glad I went through that period of life. They're very stressful. So I understand when people have a lack of money. Because when you start to find something that works, that you love going to work. I love going to work. I'll never retire. I could have retired a long time ago. I love talking to people, a few people every day, warm calls, solving problems, making an honest buck in this great business we call creative real estate. I love it. And why stop doing something you love? It's just fantastic.
No, absolutely. I agree. So let's talk about, this different method. Obviously you have the G.U.T.S method, right? And what's that?
3 steps.
Three steps. Let's talk about them.
Yeah. The trouble with, I think we work on the wrong end of the problem. I've been mentoring people for a long time. And your traditional guru or real estate teacher, mentor, they do about 75-80% motivation. They tell their stories and it's a lot of motivation. Then you sign up for a program and you get the strategies, which are very important. You need to know, are we going to do wholesaling? I love lease purchasing like you and Joe do. I love all the strategies subject to, I can do cash offers today. I couldn't do that when I first got started. So the strategies are important. Then the next step is the marketing. Marketing is important. We want quality leads every day. My goal is to speak to 5 warm leads a day. That's my goal. And that's what I teach my students. And I have a GUTS marketing plan for that too. But the most important, because I've met people so much smarter than me, hardworking, decent people. They spend a lot of time and money. I'm learning the strategies, setting up the marketing. But when it comes to picking up this stuff, this is where, oh my God, deer in the headlight time.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is where you make your money, ladies and gentlemen. You make your money by communicating, by speaking to people, by having good, solid, fun, warm conversation, nice conversations with good people who have a problem. You have to become the doctor of real estate.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand the psychology of persuasion and influence, this is where I'm like a demotivational speaker, okay? It doesn't matter how hard you work, how much money you spend. You've got to be not good, not adequate. You've got to be superb in your communication skills with people. You got to learn to ask questions like a doctor would in an examination room. You've got to learn how to make people like and trust you. You've got to learn how to get information in just a small period of time. Yeah. And that's when I met my mentor, and I saw that he could close people and get commitments and appointments and contracts in one phone call. How did you do that, man? I'm running around all over the place I'll think about it. Call me later. I'll talk to my lovely spouse. I was getting that all day long. Guess how much money you make when people manipulate you, lie to you, or put you off? Guess how much?
0. Yeah.
0. So so I wanted to develop a system based on what I learned from my experiences and my mentor and my studies in psychology, human behavior. And I developed a simple little 3-step system. I've written several books on it on my webpage, ClaudeDiamond.com. Can I give something away for free? I don't like to sell stuff.
No, absolutely. Let's do it.
You guys, you go to my webpage, ClaudeDiamond.com, and there's a little thing there, contact Claude or something, and you put in, I love Gavin or Joe, and you put that in there in the little message box, and I'm going to send you a free book, free mind map. I'll send you a bunch of free stuff, okay? That's my gift to you for listening to this wonderful podcast.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. We appreciate that. So remember, guys, I'll put it up on the screen as well, ClaudeDiamond.com. And then what, Claude, when they get there, what do they have to go to?
There's a little button there. It just says contact Claude, and put in I love Gavin or Joe. Or there's another button on the left-hand column. It says Claude freebies, all kinds of free books and mind maps. I love mind maps too, by the way. And I have a great mind map on the GUTS sales method. 3 steps: agenda, like a staircase, qualification, commitment to close. Nice. And if you have, everybody can remember 3 simple steps. If you can remember those 3 simple steps and then practice and then learn the nuances of GUTS, asking questions. Okay. You don't need a script or anything when you're asking questions. You just want information, and you might want to use a little, what we call redirection. Gavin, you don't want, and we did that in the beginning. Gavin, you don't want to sell that home. Gavin, why do you want to buy a home that you could lease purchase out and make 25% return on your money? Put it in the bank at 1%, right? Isn't that what you really want?
No, I don't. I don't want to do that.
Oh, you do. Oh, you'd like that 18 to 25% return. Well, okay. Yeah. You mind if I ask you a few more questions? Maybe I can help you today.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing. The maybe is huge. Because again, you're not doing I can help you today, because it's too forceful, right? So that's really good. One thing that I think we talked about, the problem, people don't want to pick up the phone, right? And it's obviously down to fear, right? The fear of the phone. So how do you, and we have a lot of listeners that are going to be like, yes, they're going to be shaking their heads, whatever, listening in the car, wherever they are. That are going to be kind of saying, yes, it's the fear. I'm scared to pick up the phone. How do you take someone to get over the fear and to pick up the phone?
Great question. First thing I say to him is, it's not you. First, people personalize it. Oh, I'm not working hard enough, and they are working hard enough. Should I tell you the truth or just make you feel good today, Gavin?
No, let's have the truth.
The truth is, we all have a fear of rejection, a fear that another human being won't like us, will hang up the phone on us. This is natural. This is survival. Who wants to? In this business, sooner or later, we have to talk one-on-one. We have to negotiate with the buyer, the seller, the investor, the lawyer, the realtor. We have to talk to a lot of people, and we have to talk one-on-one. And when we're making a lot of return phone calls, or even phone calls where a VA or somebody set up an appointment for us, we have that anxiety. We call it the phone becomes like a cactus. We have a lot of cactus here in Southern California. You don't want to pet a cactus, okay? And that fear of rejection, of anxiety, will make us procrastinate. I'm just speaking my truth here. I hated making these phone calls. I would say, "Oh, honey, it's time to clean the toilet," or something. Yeah. And how do we overcome that fear? We have a system, and we practice that. So first of all, we recognize that everybody has it. How do we make ourselves comfortable? We learn a system of making the other person listen to us. Why do people want to listen to us? We don't use the script. We don't sound the same as everyone else. You call somebody else. What's the definition of insanity, Gavin? Doing that same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, a different result. So let's not do the same thing. Let's call people up, and we use pattern interrupts where we might start off, ring, ring, and they say, "Hello, how can I help you?" Yeah, how can I help you, sir? Well, you called me. You get a cookie. Sir, I got your name and number in front of me here. Mr. Timms, why? Help me out. Why am I calling? This isn't about real estate, is it? Boom. Anything I can do to maybe sound familiar. Somebody comes up to you and says, "Gavin, Timms, how are you? How's the family?" You don't know who they are. You forgot. Are you going to be nice and polite to them till you figure it out? Of course you are. You're a nice guy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We have to find a way, a system, so that we make phone calls cold, warm, lukewarm, or hot calls. So we make them fun. We make them friendly. I laugh a lot. I have a lot of fun with my phone calls. Can you imagine calling up total strangers? There's a great video Joe and I did. We always talk about it, where he gave me this phone number from I don't know where he got it. And I was very lucky that day. I got a really sweetheart guy on the phone with a property near where I lived in Colorado. I also lived there. And the guy was great. And we had this wonderful conversation, made commitments and everything. And the thing about it is, can we make sales? Can we overcome that fear by making ourselves so comfortable? Like putting on a warm pair of slippers. Can we practice this? I do a lot of role play and practice with my students. Give me a stall, give me an objection, give me a cold call, and let's practice it. Yeah, and you guys do that too. You guys are gut salesmen. And the thing is, the more we practice, the more confident we become. When we build up our confidence, what happens?
We get better. We're more confident. It's going to flow better. It's just like I always say, on call 1 and 2, it might be a little bit, ropey and hairy, but after 15 and 20, you're rolling, aren't you? You're in it. It's flowing. You're comfortable. You're confident, and it just gets better. It's not as rigid. Which is huge. And I think with the scripts as well, like, it's a common thing. Well, have you got a script? The problem is with a script's only good if it stays on script. As soon as they threw a curveball and it's not your next line, well, then what do you do? That's the bit I've never understood about a script.
Yeah. I was on the board of directors of a theater in Colorado that Claudia, my wife, and I built and everything. And one thing I know, all the actors have to have a script. If only half the actors on the stage, and they're producing Nicholas Nickleby or something, God forbid, it's way too long. It's worse than Cats. But the thing about it is, if only half the actors have a script, what do the other actors do? So you want to use something we talk about, it's called a pattern interrupt. You want to sound different on the phone. You almost want to sound familiar. You want to use humor. And we practice this. It's part of the gut sales method. So if I can speak, I have only one goal that I set for my students. Can you speak to 3, 4, 5 people a day on the phone, on Zoom, in person? Can you speak to people every day and create a comfortable environment? And then make offers. I make offers every day. I follow up every day. I get warm calls, appointments every day. I have a very good marketing system. I believe in virtual attraction marketing, where if I have enough people, who doesn't love warm calls versus cold calls, of course.
Yeah.
But if I speak to just a handful of people a day, magic happens. Yeah. I ask questions. What would you like to see happen? I even go to people. I say, I've made a decision. We're going to do business today. We're going to make a commitment. How do you feel about that? Or I think, Mr. and Mrs. President, I think it's over. I think you're in no rush to sell your home. You're trying to get the top price. Good for you. I'd do the same thing. Doesn't sound like we're going to do anything creative today, and you don't want to discount the home. I feel like it's over. How about you?
Yeah, and that pull away is going to happen. Is that they're gonna say, well, no, hold on, well, maybe, and they're gonna come again. That chase is now back on, right? And no one. And you're better than anyone when it comes to psychological. But for me, when I sell, when I tell you, Claude, no, or I tell you, no, you don't want to do that, right? No, I don't think I'm the guy. You want it more. But if I say, Claude, you need to do this. This is what you need to do now. You're going to pull away, right? Yeah. So if I pull, you're going to come towards me. And I think that's the goal.
We have rights in the sales process, okay? We have the right. Okay, I really believe that most of the people you teach, that I teach, I really believe these are good people. They just want to put mac and cheese on the table. They just want to take care. They don't need a Lamborghini or anything. They just want to make a living. And I think they want to do business honestly and ethically. They want to help people, as we said earlier. But they still are we have rights in the process. We can't go running around, staying up till 12 o'clock at night doing contracts unless we have a commitment, unless we have information from people. Okay, yeah. I look to get some kind of commitment in the first phone call. It can be a partial or tentative commitment. It can be a full commitment, or it can be, it's over. It's closure. Listen, Mr. Timms, doesn't sound like we're going to do business today. Listen, you've been a great guy. I'm going to send you a little gift for you and your lovely lady and everything. And if your situation changes, my contact information will be in there. I'll also include a letter of intent. I'll put in 3 offers. If you ever change your mind, please feel free to contact me. I'll give you my personal number. You have a great day. It was a real pleasure to meet with you. Boom. I just want to see my psychology. I'm sensitive. I cry at Disney movies. Okay. I'm still upset about Bambi's mommy and the fire, you know? Okay. The thing about it is, if I have a good phone call, I understand my psychology. I'm honest with myself. And I know that if I get too much rejection, I don't want to talk to people.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but if I have good conversations, if I have friendly, even when I don't do business, if I have good conversations, can I make the next call and then the call after that and the call after that? And we're not speaking to enough people. We're not making enough offers. We're not following up enough. This is a business, but let's make it so it's comfortable for the prospect as well as ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got to get through. I mean, I say there's 4 fundamentals to the business: marketing, obviously, is number 1. Then obviously talking to people, making offers, and follow up. Every business in real estate, whatever the strategy, the 4 things that need to be done. And the problem is that second stage of the phone, people want to skip. It cannot be skipped, right? You cannot miss that and hop that stage, because if you're not willing to do it, you're wasting your time buying programs, working with coaches, mentors, whatever you're paying and whatever you're buying, is that people hide behind education. I'm a big believer. I cannot tell you how many people I talk to, but every course that's on the market, but aren't taking any action. Why? Because it's the fear of actually doing something. But they can come to Claude and say, I've been so busy. I've been through this course, and I've had that course, and I've been working, right? It's almost, you know, they can go home to the wife or the husband. So I've had a really busy day. I've watched these videos and I've done all these things, right? And it's just hiding behind
I love that. I wrote it
education.
down. That's a takeaway, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Listen to this guy. You can't hide behind education. Sooner or later, all the education, and you need your knowledge. You need to do your marketing. You need leads. Okay. You need to set up your team if that's important to you. But sooner or later, you've got to speak to people on a consistent basis. I talk to people every day. I make offers every day. Do I get accepted every day? Of course not. Nobody does. But that consistent routine, that developing those good habits day after day, and learning how to overcome the fear. I have so many people, the phone fear thing that you were bringing up, the fear of being rejected. I did a fear package, how to overcome fear, just recently, because so many people were talking to me about Claude. I can't pick up that phone. It says I'm just scared of the rejection. I'll do anything before I talk to people, and that's why I made that how to overcome phone fear package. You got to have a system. You've got to practice with a partner, with your mentor, with your peers. Practice or drive your spouse crazy, and and role play with him or her. Okay, that's the thing. Get a system and practice a lot. And get so good on the phone. Superb is the word I love to use. That you have no reluctance. I go to Walmart greet. When I go to Walmart, I engage the greeter. I don't just say hi and walk in the store. I say, gee, did you go to Walmart school? How do you like greeting all day long here? Does it get cold standing by the door? I will ask silly questions. And I just want to see if I can engage this person, make them smile. I love making the person on the cash register. I love making them smile. Gee, what's the high point of your day? Breaking $100 bill? I mean, anything.
No, you're so right. You're so right. It's great.
You can have so much fun in this. I think I'm the only sales trainer in the world who uses the word fun. You can have fun. You can be assertive, not a bully, but you can be assertive and in control. I think most people are submissive and subservient in the sales process. And that leaves them feeling wanting, leaves them feeling like this is not fun. I love talking to people. I love using a lot of reverse psychology. I also use a lot of suggestion. I'm a big fan of Milton Erickson. I do a lot of painting. I paint pictures in people's minds using the five senses, telling stories. Do you imagine yourself? Do you like the smell of fresh paint, Gavin, when you walk into a home? I love that smell, that clean smell, a brand new home and everything. Imagine, it's Thanksgiving, the family sitting around the table. There's a roast can you smell that roast? And on the fireplace is going, you hear that crackle of the woods and everything like that. And the kids are snug on the couch and with a blanket and everything. And the dog is on your lap, you're petting. Boom. What's that picture? Can you paint pictures in people's minds?
Yeah, and that's genius. And here's the thing, people listening, and again, if maybe they don't know you, you legit do this. I've watched you do it. This is legit. I've watched you do it live.
Yeah.
And it is genius, because their thought process, you're taking them on a journey. And if you've asked good questions, you know what they want, right? They know they want a bigger house. And I'm big on, the art of sales as well, to me, is listening and then replaying information. So if they want a bigger house, if they want, these things that they've told you, you need to roll that into your story. Imagine the big house. Imagine walking in. Imagine how grand it would look. Them things there, because you know what they want. So you have to play that into the story. And it is an art. It's an art to do it. And the only way you're going to do it is to practice it.
Yeah. I learned so much. This is the greatest time. I've been doing this a long time, okay? And this is the greatest time I've ever seen to run your own business from your home, from your kitchen table. We have social media marketing. And I've learned so much from TikTok and from Facebook. And I love YouTube, as you guys do. And what are the most, on YouTube or TikTok, what are the most popular videos? Okay, I love the food videos. Okay, right. Where they're traveling, going to different restaurants, where they're cooking and stuff. People love food. Food is very sensual. Food is, you watch that and you start seeing somebody making a BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich, and they fry the bacon. You're not there, but you ever walk into a house with bacon going or bread cooking or cookies out of the oven and stuff like that, and you're watching a video. And I don't know about you, I'm very, very susceptible to suggestion. My wife goes to me, honey, what do you want for dinner? And I say, I don't know. She says, how about a grilled cheese sandwich? We haven't had that. My wife makes great grilled cheese sandwiches. I mean, they're beautiful. A cheese melting. She uses like 3 cheeses, maybe a little bacon on it, some really good homemade bread. And you bite into it and the crunch and the cheese. See, what am I doing right now? Tell me you're not thinking about that grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm thinking, I need sweets in my life.
Can we do that in sales? Can we not only most people sell intellectually. They give facts and figures. Let me tell you about the square footage and this and that. Why do people really want to buy a home or sell a home or invest? Why do people really take action? It's really more emotional. People make decisions emotionally. They just justify them eventually. Intellectually, can I afford it? Can I pay for it? Can I finance it? Can I live with this decision? But they truly make their initial decision emotionally. This is the $1 million rule, by the way. This is one of the most important things. So when we talk about the 5 senses and painting a picture in their minds, oh my gosh, this is the way you persuade people. This is the way one person giving good phone can become a millionaire in this business.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there's two things. Obviously, it's the $1 million skill, right? But also as well, one thing that I did learn is that when you get good, sales is dangerous, right? And I got that from you because you can persuade and you can do the bad things. You can do the wrong things because you are persuading someone. And I think that's when you've got to, if you're not a nice guy or gal, you can persuade people into bad things as well. But that is the art of sales. And I learned that, like, don't start persuading people things when you know it's not right for them and just because you can persuade them to do something. So I think that's really important for people listening to understand that you can get good and you've then got to make sure that you're doing it right.
You can make so much money in this business by helping people, by following the law. Okay. I've studied law. I want to do the right thing with people. I don't want trouble. I don't want problems. I don't want nasty letters from lawyers and things. You can do the right thing. And people, they love when you're different from everyone else. I'm pretty transparent. I'm pretty obvious with people. Why should I work with you? Maybe you shouldn't, sir. Yeah. Maybe I'm not the right guy. Maybe, but I might be the right. Maybe you should work with me if you want to get your house sold. If you'd like to get into a house with a lease purchase in the next 30 days for a rent or that will fit with your budget and have a stepping stone towards American freedom. Maybe you should work with me if those are the things you want. If you don't want those things, I'll leave. I use scarcity. I use social proof. Okay. Yeah. I use a lot of reciprocity. Sir, can I ask one favor of you? It's a great discussion, everything. I'm going to draw up the agreement and you and your lovely bride are going to look at it. Could you do me one favor? Could we meet on Zoom or Zillow or Zoom at 4:30 today? Could we, if we decide to move forward, could you give me a commitment? If you don't like the deal, tell me, Claude, get lost and it's over. And we're still friends. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I can use reciprocity. I can use scarcity. I can use all these authority. I use authority a lot.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. And I think as well, with the Zoom comment, right, that works well. And people don't want to get on Zoom, but because you're willing to, especially if you're in a different state, I do a lot of virtual, right? And I'm from England, so I've got an accent and I'm not in the area.
I thought that was a Brooklyn accent. Wait a second. I'm from New York.
Yeah, we live down the street. We sound similar.
What's it like for a Brit to live in America? How different? I've been to England. My daughter studied in England and everything like that. How much do you miss? Do you miss the food and the culture and everything?
Everyone asks what do you miss? And it's the food, friends and family. That's it. But I think the opportunity, the American dream, right? The opportunities here. I believe it. And I think in England, not that you can't make money in England, I'm not saying that, but people don't realize like the whole of Britain fits in Texas, right? That's what we're dealing with in terms of size when people think about it. So the opportunity in the United States of America is endless. And the people here, like I'm obviously grateful to be here and have the opportunity. So I probably look at it. It's just like anything. If you grow up with something, you don't appreciate it. I'm sure I do the same thing, right?
You get over this language barrier thing, you know?
Yeah, and exactly. And that's the thing. There's times when, you know, there's certain words that I use, right? And I try, and if I speak to people back home, they're like, you sound so American, because I'm converting words to get by. Because if I don't and I say things, people are like, what's that? Like, what is that? And then I'm like, I can't sometimes think of the other word. Like, you know, it could be,
it's,
you know,
garage,
the trunk and the boot. We call it the boot, right?
Yeah, so if garage, I say it's in the garage.
Exactly, things like that.
And it's Budweiser, not Boddington's, you know.
Yeah.
Which
I remember.
I love Boddington's, by the way.
Because I was in the middle of Georgia somewhere at a breakfast place, and they clearly do not get internationals through. And I was in a breakfast, and I was trying to order butter, like, and you know, butter, like for your bread, like we say butter. And she kept repeating it to me, had no idea what this thing was. I was like, butter. And she's like, butter? And I'm like, yeah, butter. Like, and I'm doing it, the action like on the bread, you know, like butter. And she's like, butter. And the guy with me is American. He was like, butter. And she's like, oh, butter. And then I was like, how do you not even get that? Like, what is that? And then people were coming out the kitchen and they were like, oh, can you speak? Can you say this? And because they just don't come across it. It was just crazy.
We have a British pub here in San Diego. It's called Shakespeare's. They have all the great British beer. I love British beer, by the way.
Yeah.
And they have the best fish and chips. I mean, the huge pieces of cod and the crunch.
Yeah.
You know, forget about Popeye's chicken. Get a good fish and chips. My God! And the chips are the French fries and you put a little of that good Heinz vinegar on it. Oh man,
so good.
Is everybody? What did I just do, by the way?
Yeah, you want me to fly home together?
I put a picture in people's mind. We're storytellers. If we're going to be successful in this business, we have to tell stories. We have to ask questions. We have to have a system so that, and it's the $1 million skill. If you can just speak to a few people comfortably every day, everything will fall into place and you will have very little. By the way, there's no competition when you're a great gut salesperson. You can always, you know, my definition, last word, because I know we got to go. So much for that short conversation, right? You and I have to talk about today. The thing about it is my definition of success is that you could take everything away from me, houses, money, savings, retirement, everything, and keep me healthy and just let me have my understanding of how to sell my system and get me to a phone. I'll go to Walmart. I'll get a $20 a burner phone, throwaway phone. Get me on that phone, and I will be back on top, a 1%er, a top wage earner in 30 days or less. That's when you truly have freedom. The freedom comes, the ability to know you could lose everything, but getting back on the phone again in this wonderful business and just call buyers, call sellers, and put deals together. Just getting on that phone, talking to people. You know you can always make an honest buck if you have a system and know how to communicate.
100% agree. And this works as well for any industry, not just real estate. If you can sell, you can sell anything, right? And that's what you're saying. You know, me and Joe have conversations. Like, what would we do if it all went away? Phone, give me a phone. And I could sell anything, any product, anything. If I know about it, I can sell it, right? And I think you're exactly right. That's why it is the $1 million skill. So, awesome. Anything else, Claude? I'm going to give you, I know we're going to give some information on you here in a second, but anything else you want to share before we're done? This has been amazing.
Thank you. And Joe, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, I don't like all the guys out there doing education, but Gavin and Joe McCall, these guys are real, and they care, and they give great information, and they're not competitors of mine. They're my friends. They do a great job out there. So that's why I'm on this podcast today. By the way,
I appreciate that.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
No,
you guys are givers. You know, you're not just takers. And I appreciate your style and the way you educate people. So thank you. You've made this better for a lot of people.
No, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. And guys, if you're not following Claude, you need to go over to his YouTube channel. Remember, I'm going to flip up a couple of links here. Go to his website. Make sure you get them freebies. It's a no-brainer. You're not going to be disappointed. Also, he does something that's insane. Okay, if this is insane, and he's going to do it because I already checked you still do it. And he's like, of course. How dare I ask that question? He actually gives his personal cell, and Claude answers his phone. Okay, it's on behind him on the back if you're watching us live on or you're watching us on YouTube, but it is 970-281-5151. All right.
Why am I insane? Why do I do the opposite of all my competitors? I say, call me. I answer my own phone. I'm not here to sell things. Go to my webpage. I want to give you some free books and things like that. Why do I always do the opposite of everyone else? Am I a contrarian? What's wrong with me? Maybe I am insane. I don't know.
Well, no, you're obviously a giver, right? You're giving it, and the difference is that you can. Well, I won't say it's the difference, but you can control conversations, right? The art of controlling things. So when people are calling, you're not going to spend 3 hours on the phone chatting about the weather, right? You're going to get down to whatever you need to, talk about. And we give loads of free information as well, very accessible. But the thing is that you've always done this. This has been your thing, and you answer your phone. It is you. Right, it's not someone else. It's not a VA. It's not an admin. It's actually you.
I am a little, and can I answer every phone call? No, I'm on the phone. I'm working. I'm doing my own deals and things like that. But the bottom line is, guess what happens when you speak to a few people every day?
Things happen. Money's made.
You get to the magic moment. You make money, and I think we've gotten too far away from that skill of communication with people, and we can learn it, and we can practice it, and we can have whatever we want in life.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing is email mentor@mac.com if you want to shoot Claude an email. I think the key is, as well as educators, as mentors, whatever it is that we are, is that you need to be accessible, and that's what Claude does. He's give you 3 ways there. Make sure, again, finally, that you go to claudediamond.com, get them freebies, because you will not regret it. All right, Claude, it has been a pleasure. Coffee with Claude.
Yeah, time's up.
I know. I'm done. You got to go. I got to go. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. And we'll catch up soon.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody.
Bye.